Hey guys, Icy Cat here. In today's in-depth operator profile, we're taking a look at Pulse. We're going to check out what his gadget does and how best to use his tactics, weapons, and gadgets to get the job done. Pulse is a defender for the FBI CTU. His specialty gadget is the heartbeat sensor. His loadout consists of a UMP-45 submachine gun or an M1014 semi-auto shotgun with choice of pistol in either the 5.7, which has the smaller damage but the higher ammo capacity, or the M45 pistol, which will give you less rounds in the magazine but a higher damage. I'm going to recommend the shotgun along with the 5.7 USG, so you have the stopping power with the shotgun and the capacity if you need to switch out to your sidearm. His secondary gadgets are either barbed wire or nitro cell. I'm going to recommend the nitro cell as a secondary, since using the heartbeat sensor will allow him to see through a wall and know when a good time is to blow it up. Pulse works well either as a roamer or as objective defense. His heartbeat sensor will allow him to see enemies as they roam around the map, and if he's going to be in that role, he may be better suited to the UMP-45, which is an excellent submachine gun. But you really get the most mileage out of him with the shotgun in general, especially when playing objective defense, because you can see when the targets are coming through the walls and you know when to light them up. His heartbeat sensor does scan through walls into the next room, or across a hallway and a little bit into the next room. It doesn't have the most range, but it does all right. I mean, you can definitely see what's happening in the next room at least. It will work through ceilings and floors as well, so you can see if somebody's running around above you or below you. It does not have any distinction from friend or foe, so everybody that you see in the heartbeat sensor will look the same. His gadget comes into play when the attackers enter the building, so until that time, go ahead and use him to set up perimeter defense. Throw up your reinforced walls, barricades, use your barbed wire, or plant your nitro cell if that's what you want to do while you wait and get ready. Using reinforced panels to block off certain sections are a good idea with Pulse, because then you know where not to worry about looking so much. Unless, of course, you have thermite coming through a wall or something like that. But otherwise, by and large, it's good to use those panels to block off sections, and then you can more easily manage your zones of where you're going to monitor. Now, you can see the heartbeat sensor has gone through a little bit of a facelift. Here's the old one. You can see clear through it. It's very easy to see as you're walking around. That's the way it looked before. This is how it was in the beta. It's completely filled with static. You cannot see through it at all. It's very difficult to use. You're walking into things constantly when you use it. Pulse's scanner definitely looks a whole lot more slick now. We've got these next-gen effects going on with the scanning of the heartbeats, and you can see a little bit of almost like a depth perception on the scan, but it's not completely transparent like it was before when it was blue back before the beta. I would like to see it render the environment around you a little bit more clearly, so it's almost maybe a little bit more transparent like the old blue one was. Maybe not as easy to see through, but more than this. I mean, you pretty easily walk into furniture and things like that without realizing it, and you should be able to move around your environment without getting hung up on objects in your way a little bit more easily than this allows you to do. This is definitely a step up from where it was before, though. It could maybe use a little bit more range, like maybe an extra 30 to 50% more range on how far out it can detect the heartbeats, but it's not useless like it was, at least not like how I felt it was during the beta. So when you're scanning, it's good to kind of just keep a general eye out. Make sure that you're covered. You're vulnerable while you're doing this. If you're scanning by yourself, if you're a roamer, make sure you're tucked into side rooms and things like that. If you're just standing in the middle of a hallway while you're roaming and you try to use this thing, you're gonna get shot pretty quick. When you're objective defense, you're usually going to be paired up with other people, though, so they can help watch your back as you scan, and that's good because you are kind of vulnerable while you're doing this. Pulse combos well with other operators like Tachanka. He can act as a spotter for him by seeing targets through walls and letting him know where he should open up fire. He also works well with smoke for knowing when to deploy the gas as people are about to come through a vulnerable area. Same thing with nitro cells. He also works well with anybody with a shotgun. As he's scanning, he can point out to other defenders where people are and they can open up fire for him, leaving him free to check for more people. Pulse is most effectively countered by IQ, because she can see him as he's walking around. Also, he's countered somewhat by Thatcher, although I can't speak too much to the specifics of how that looks. I've never been hit by an EMP grenade while using Pulse. I'm just not sure if it's a temporary effect or what it does in the long term, but it can counter him to some degree. So using Pulse here, I'm able to get a very brief heartbeat contact through the wall and sort of see where the guy went. It does need to have a little bit more range, I feel. It's just not real useful unless they're right on the other side of a wall, and I know a lot of people are complaining that it was too powerful, but now it's been made a little bit weak on the range as far as I'm concerned, but still a useful tool nonetheless. So that's been our in-depth operator profile for Pulse. Tomorrow we're going to take a look at Bandit, and on Wednesday we're going to take a look at another single-player mission with IQ on the Oregon farmhouse. Later on in the week, I'll be doing an operator profile on Mute and Glaz. Please like and subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest tips and tricks, as well as news and information for Rainbow Six Siege. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.